It's August. Can you believe it? Whew. I am practitioner and ministerial candidate Shelley Walker. My pronouns are she, her, and it is an absolute joy, a joy to be in community with you this day. I want to just start where I plan on ending up, and that is with all the love of my heart for NTCSL Colorado gathering today. Hello, NTCSL Colorado. Hello, special guests. Hi, Debbie in the States for once. Hi, we love you. We love you. We love you. And I'm so glad that y'all are getting to be in-person community this day and to share the love. I want to let you know that Reverend Shannon will be back with us next week. She sends her big love to you. And Reverend Shannon, well, just go ahead and we'll return that multiplied abundantly because you, my friend, deserve it. So we're looking forward to hearing what she has to say next week. If you are new or new-ish here, I want to let you know that you have stepped into a community or you have shown up for a community online that is inclusive. We're progressive, we're compassionate, we welcome all people. Everyone is welcome here. We are dedicated to spirit-led social action where we do our work for ourselves and we take our healed selves out into the world to help make the world a better place. That's who we are. There's more info about us on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. For those of you here in the building, we have a welcome table just outside these doors here with people who can answer any questions you might have about us, who we are, what we do, why we do it. But know that you are absolutely welcome, and we'd love to talk more about you and your path. This is the place in our service where we honor that we are on the ancestral lands of the Kalapuya people here in Lake Oswego, Oregon. And we affirm indigenous history, experience, and sovereignty. For those of you who are online, this is a good time if you'd like to grab a candle so you can participate in our spiritual practice that we're going to be having here in a few minutes. We're going to light a candle here, and you might want to light one at home as well. So this is a good chance to grab a candle. Let's remind ourselves of our vision and our mission. If you'd like to say them with me, they're on your screen. Let's start with our vision. Recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. And so it is. I want to thank our online host this day, beloved Carol Scott and practitioner Kelly Bastian. Thank you so much for your service today. And I'd like for us to give a wave to all of our online community. And our NTCSL Colorado community, I bet, is waving back madly. Oh, such a beautiful thing we do here. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and silence your phones if you haven't already, as I invite practitioner Terry Christopher up to give us an opening blessing.
Thank you. Good morning. I would like to invite you to join me in blessing our time together. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or rest them and just settle into this space wherever you are. Settle into the space, knowing that the divine, that sacred yes, flows through each and every being on this planet. And today here in our gathering, we represent that flow of the divine. Each one of us showing up to be in community, to feel love, to express love, joy. And the light that is that divine sacredness, that is all there is. And in that oneness and in that knowing, I bless this time together. All of the many hands that bring us to this space now, especially today, those hands who work behind the scenes to bring the technology to the globe. that technology, that brilliance, those hands that allow for NTCSL Colorado, those beautiful beings to join us here, knowing there is no separation in place or in time. And so blessing this time, knowing and feeling the gratitude that comes from being in community, I embrace it all. Sigh deeply and let it be. And so it is. Now we're going to move into our time of spiritual practice where we will put music to prayer, put prayer to music, and I invite you to stand as you are able. And those at home, now's the time to light your candle.
My body, my soul are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving a sacred plan. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. And so it is.
Here at New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, it's important for us that we acknowledge all of our feelings and everything that is going on with us, body, mind, and soul. And so once a month, we offer a ritual for those who are grieving. There are many of us in grief, in active and anticipatory grief in this community. And so for some of us, we'll simply receive the blessing as it is given. And for those of us who are not in active grief, we will offer a blessing, a ritual, a prayer, a reminder for those who are in grief. And so for those of you who are receiving, I invite you to just rest. Rest your body for just a minute. Rest your heart for a minute. And with the next breath, open yourself to receive. You don't have to protect in this moment. You might want to gently place a hand on your heart if you feel called. And for those of us who are giving the blessing, you too might want to rest and open. There's no need for protection here. We freely give as we freely receive. The words are going to be on your screen. We're going to speak it through 3 times all together. Let's all take in an easy, deep breath. And let us begin. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. And so it is. Amen.
Today's reading is from poet Karen Kaiser. This is In the Gap. Let me be the one who inhabits the canyons, carved in the center of our fragile humanity. Let me be the one who fills the empty, heals the hurting, embraces the outcast. Let me be the one who stands in the gap between heaven and earth. Again and again, the very incarnation of a love that knows no limits. And so it is.
Thank you, Bernalee. While we bring Darcy Bradley up to sing a song, I would like to acknowledge our band, Brandon Hitu on bass, Adrian Martin on guitar, and a huge thank you for filling in at the very last second this morning on drums, Edwin Coleman III.
Think about it, there must be higher love down in the heart or written in the skies above. Without it, well, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, I look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Hey, bring me a higher love, yeah. Bring me a higher love, oh. Bring me a higher love. Where's this higher love? so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Yeah. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Oh, yeah. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Well, I will wait for it. Well, I'm not too late for it. Until then, I sing my song to cheer the night along. Well, I can light the night up with my soul on fire. Well, I can make the sunshine from pure desire. Let me feel that love come over me. Let me feel how strong it could be. Oh yeah, come on, sing it. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Sing it. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Oh, yeah. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of. Bring me a higher love.
Okay, that's going to be hard to follow. I almost hate to make y'all sit down. I feel like we should just do the next song. I apologize. But we do have some important things to talk about today. Hello. For those of you who are just joining us, first of all, back up the video and watch the dance party that just happened. And my name is Shelley Walker, and it is an absolute joy and a privilege to be here with you today. We're going to be exploring today the spiritual concept of awakening. Specifically, spiritual awakening and how we walk our awakened selves in this hurting world. So many of you know, if you follow me on the socials, then you are very aware that I have been traveling a lot this summer. I spent a really amazing 2 weeks in the UK following my older daughter's chamber choir tour there. We had an incredible time. And then I got home, jet-lagged for a week, and then packed up and left for California. We dropped our youngest, Alex, off at muscular dystrophy camp. For those of you who are new or newish, my youngest child has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and he lives in a wheelchair. So we packed up, we took him down to California for MDA camp. He had the time of his life. And Michael and I got a chance to remember what it's like to just take care of ourselves and each other. And those of you who are caregivers, you know exactly what I mean when I say how easy it is for us to get lost, to lose ourselves in our care for others. So it has been quite a time, and I have a couple of stories to share with you. But when I got home I don't know where I am in space and time anymore, so But when I watched Reverend Shannon's talk from last Sunday, and she was talking about when we change our perspective, how much of a bigger opportunity we have to love, I thought, well, isn't that what travel does for us? It lifts us out of our normal, and it gives us a different perspective on life and how we have to live it and how we can love better. So this is what we're going to talk about today, is how this actually plays into our spiritual awakening. So there's a story that is told in many spiritual traditions about a seeker who climbs a mountain looking for truth. And on the way up, they meet a lot of other travelers. There are a lot of different paths. People are coming and going. And some people are noticeably struggling. Some are arguing about what the best path to take is. Some are discouraged. And some just give up and slide back down the mountain. But when this particular seeker reaches the top of the summit, they turn around and they look back. And they notice how all of the winding paths that seemed uncertain when they were on it were actually all leading to the same place. That there was only one place to be, there was only one thing to be doing, and that you couldn't get lost. There was nowhere else to be. And from that higher perspective, suddenly everything makes sense. And that's what we mean by perspective. We take that higher view so that we can begin to make sense of the world. In the New Thought tradition, we understand that our consciousness determines our experiences, of course. The quality of our lives is shaped not only by external events, but on how we respond to them. We talk about that a lot. Our experience of life is affected by how we interpret what is happening in the world and how we see it and how we respond to it. And the key to all of that, all of it, is perspective. And when we lift our consciousness, then we change the lens through which we view the world. And when we change the lens, everything else changes. So perspective isn't just how we see the world, it's actually how we experience the world. A person, for example, who's like grounded in fear might interpret a challenge as a threat. And someone who is grounded in love might interpret the same challenge as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to love, an opportunity to learn. The facts are the same, but the meaning that we give them and the energy that we meet the world with, that's what changes our experience of life. In this thing called You, Ernest Holmes writes, you are not the victim of circumstance, but a creator of consciousness. Your world is not imposed upon you, it is drawn to you. I love the ease of that because I have worked really hard over the course of many years to try and impose my will on the world. But the way Ernest Holmes talks about our world being drawn to us, I recognize that this isn't blame, but empowerment. It means that we're not stuck. It means that we can always choose to see differently. When we were in Wales, our last day in Wales before we headed over to Ireland, we had a free afternoon, and there are these beautiful canals and rivers all over England and Wales. And we just, my daughters and I, and Faith's wonderful boyfriend, we just took a walk down this canal. And at the end of the canal is a river that everyone was playing in. It was so beautiful and it was so much fun. But the kids got ahead of me because I needed to drop my shopping in the car. I like to shop. So I ran to the car to drop my shopping off. The kids were ahead of me, so I was walking along that beautiful canal alone. And I don't know about you caregivers, but when I'm alone, suddenly I have this well of creativity open in me, and I get like poems and short stories, and I sat on a bench and meditated for a while. When I got back up, and I kept wandering down towards the river where I knew the kids were, and there's this hut on the side of the road with like Christmas lights and plants, and it was the cutest thing. So I wandered over, and it was a coffee cart, praise God. And even better, it had iced coffee, which I don't know if you've been to England lately, but ice is a big deal over there. So I got myself an iced coffee. And while the barista, who turned out to be the owner of the coffee shop, while she was making my drink, she asked about where I'm from because I sounded weird. She said, "You're not from Texas, are you?" I said, "Why would you say that?" And she goes, "Well, your particular use of y'all sounded really familiar to me." And I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Every year, my husband and I close up this shop every winter, and we go to Texas. We go to Texas every winter, and we visit people who are on death row. That's how they spend their off season." And I told her that I had family in Texas. I grew up in Texas, for those of you who might not recognize my y'all as quickly as she did. I told her that I have family in Texas and that it's been hard for me to get up the willingness to go to Texas lately. And I asked her, I said, why Texas? Like, is this how you're going to spend your off season? And she said, "There's something that you have to realize." Of course, she said it in a really cool Welsh accent that I'm not going to attempt because I love you too much for that. She said, "You have to remember that these people have been lied to for decades, and they're doing the best they can with the information that they have too." I know. Dang it. So while this woman is going and ministered to my people, right, I am sitting at home in fear and blame. She's not the minister here. The minister, right? Of course she is. She is, out of the capacity of her vast love. She doesn't have any agenda. She's not proselytizing. She's not trying to fix anyone. She's not trying to change anyone. She's just trying, her and her husband, who I also met on the way out, they are simply going to bring comfort and to ask if they can help in any way. That's their sole agenda in going to visit the death row prisoners in Texas. So as you might guess, what she said and how she loved changed my perspective on home. Her ability to rise up and see it from a place of love helped me to do the same thing. This is the perspective that I want us to talk about today. This is the perspective that it's important that we all examine in our own lives. Where in our experience are we making assumptions, judgments, blame? Where are we assigning shame instead of lifting up to a place of empowerment? Of course, lifting our consciousness doesn't mean ignoring what's wrong in the world. It doesn't mean pretending that we don't feel pain or anger, because that's not spiritual, that's avoidance, which I'm also very good at. But true spiritual growth includes all of it. True spiritual growth means that we choose to see with spiritual eyes, eyes that recognize truth, eyes that recognize love, eyes that recognize possibility, even in the midst of our own suffering. Lifting our consciousness means we rise above the drama of the moment to access a deeper truth. We learn to respond rather than react. We learn to align with the eternal, even as we walk through the temporary. So how do we know that we're on the right path? Here are some signs that we're having a spiritual awakening, and spoiler alert, it isn't a sudden urge to meditate for hours every day or an unexplained sudden ability to commune with your angels. That's not what a spiritual awakening is, although those things happen too. But on our daily walk, on our daily practice, this spiritual awakening that I'm talking about isn't sudden. It's a gradual unfolding, and it's quiet. And we know we're on the right path when we begin to ask, what is the higher truth here? Or we begin to respond to conflict with compassion rather than defensiveness. To be compassion first, to understand before seeking to be understood. We know we're on our right path when we notice our thoughts and choose to redirect them to peace. We know we're on the right path when we're less swayed by fear and we're more anchored in trust. This is how we know. These are the signs that life is giving us that we are on the awakening path. And those of us who have been here for a while, and there are a few of us here, we can attest that this walk of awakening is a practice that we return to minute by minute, hour by hour, time and time again. We forget. We wander off the path. Sometimes we just leap off the path. We fall into judgment and we come back to truth. Our practice is the act of returning. The act of returning to center, the act of returning to truth, the act of returning to love time and time again. So that's what spiritual awakening is. But it's also important to address what spiritual awakening is not. Sometimes we have a tendency in this spiritual journey to bypass human emotion. We jump to affirmations and light without acknowledging the grief and the rage or the injustice. This is called spiritual bypass, and it short circuits real healing. Y'all know I've given a lot of thought and study into spiritual bypass. I wanted to share this quote with you because it explains it better than anything I've ever read. This is from psychologist John Welwood. He said, spiritual bypassing is a defense mechanism. It's using spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep uncomfortable feelings, unresolved wounds, and developmental needs. Spiritual bypassing is a defense mechanism. Guess what? Sometimes defense mechanisms keep us alive. And part of our spiritual awakening, part of this very important journey, is recognizing when those defense mechanisms are no longer serving us, serving what our inner child thinks safety looks like, and are in fact holding us back. So if you begin to notice some of these defense mechanisms in you, there's nothing wrong with them. They served you somehow. But maybe on this awakening path, it's time to let defense mechanisms go and stop using spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep uncomfortable feelings and unresolved wounds and developmental needs. In New Thought, we believe in the power of the mind, yes, but not at the expense of the heart. Real spiritual work means being willing to feel fully and rise consciously. It's holding both the suffering and the sacred at once. And it's not an either or, it is a both and. And let me tell you, sometimes this takes the capacity of our hearts to its very edge. Believe me, I know. I shared with you earlier that we took our son Alex to MDA camp. I think John has a picture. This was when we dropped him off. The counselors had spent a whole day prepping for the kids, and every child had a celebration. We walk in, and Alex is rolling in front of us. Michael and I are behind him, holding hands and walking behind him, and you walk through a line of people just cheering that they're glad you showed up. I feel like we might need to do that. Carolyn, if you could put that in our programming notes. We need to just like have a day where we just cheer people for showing up. Because sometimes showing up is hard, right? Michael and I, we checked him in. We met with his nurse. He had a dedicated nursing staff. Here's the thing with this MDA camp in Northern California. Most of the counselors were nursing students from the local nursing college. And most of the nursing staff were the faculty of the nursing college. So Michael and I felt so safe. So we knew that his physical safety was assured, and we immediately knew that his mental health and his spiritual safety were assured as well, because I have never been in a place where there is more love and absolute acceptance. I mean, just absolute acceptance. It was one of the most powerful experiences. Michael and I just walked away, and I just had tears just like pouring down my face, because my son doesn't always meet acceptance in the world. There are a lot of barriers for him to acceptance. My experience of him is one of medical trauma and pain and fear. We have a lot in our lives that we manage, right? And walking into that camp and then walking out again and leaving him there, knowing he was so safe and so loved and so well cared for, and oh my God, he had so much fun. Y'all, he ziplined and loved it, which is weird. But he wouldn't do talent show night, which is also, we're a little different, my son and I. As a mom, it's really easy for me to fall into fear when it comes to my kid. It just is. That's gonna happen. We are biologically hardwired, him and I, for that relationship. It's gonna happen. But being able to walk into a place that had such complete and utter faith, joy, compassion, acceptance, and belief for my kid, it absolutely changed my perspective. Oh, it changed my perspective. And it reminded me not only that Alex is whole and perfect and complete, but that I am lucky enough to have an entire community all across the world of people who know that for me. I don't have to always be the one who knows. You know it for me. And that changes everything. It changes my perception of my life. It changes me that you know that my kid was wonderfully made. This perspective changes things. You are wonderfully made. With the challenges that you have, with the life that you have, with the experience that you have, you too are wonderfully made. And I want you to know that every time you walk in those doors, I might not have yellow pom-poms, but I'm cheering for your life. I celebrate you. I celebrate your life as we celebrate each other exactly as we're made, perfect and wonderful. And yes, of course, Michael and I, we advocate for Alex's needs. Of course, we work to make sure his rights as a human being are upheld. Yes, we work to advocate with the scientific agencies, the governmental agencies, the school agencies, you name it. We are working at every level, and all of those things are just the facts of our lives. And at the same time, we have to affirm the great good of his life, not just on camp days, but every day. You have to affirm the great good of your life, not just on church days, on spiritual community days, on game days, on couch days, on bed rotting days. That's my new favorite phrase. I have learned about bed rotting, and I am a fan. We affirm the great good in this life while also acknowledging the reality that we are working to transform. This is the both and. We must say that all is well, not because everything looks perfect, but because we trust in the unfolding of the divine happening at the center of it. That we trust the divine order through the imperfection. And this is how we become willing partners with the unfolding of that good. So, how do we actually do this? How much time do we have? Not much. I'm just going to give you a few practical tools, practical applications for how we can up-level our consciousness as we move through this life, up-level our perception, remind ourselves and each other of the good that is there even while we work for the healing of the things in the world. So the first one, this is not going to surprise you. I think this might be my first point almost every week. What do you think it is? Meditation. Jen got it. Cultivate awareness through meditation and prayer. The first and most important action that we take to empower our spiritual awakening is engaging in our spiritual practice. Meditation is what helps our brains to recognize the space between stimulus and response and inhabit that space so that we can be at choice. This is what daily meditation does for us. Even 5 minutes of quiet listening can reset your entire day. And of course, in New Thought, we use affirmative prayer, not to beg and plead, but to align with truth. We don't ask God to fix things as if God's outside of us with a hammer and nails. We commune with the presence within us and simply speak the truth into the presence of love and watch our life and our world change. So the first action you can take, practical action, easy, is take a few minutes of stillness to start your day. That's number one. Number two, practice to up-level our consciousness is to practice non-judgmental observation. The Buddhists are great at this. Shelley Walker, not so great at this. Often we get stuck in low consciousness because we're judging everything. My smart, brilliant brain wants to judge things and label them and assign them into categories because I love spreadsheets. It's just how my brain works. Your brain might be similar. We often judge others, ourselves, the situation. We even judge God. Instead, we can just observe with compassion. And non-judgment doesn't mean we aren't discerning. Doesn't mean we don't know the difference between right and wrong. It means that we notice what is happening. We skip the step of assigning shame and blame, and we decide how we want to respond with love instead. Skipping that step of blame and shame changes everything. Changes everything. So the action step you can take this week is to notice your internal dialogue, and when you hear judgment or fear, or external dialogue, when you notice judgment or fear, just pause and say, this is just a thought, and I can choose a higher thought. What would love do here? What would love do here? To have a different experience of life, this is your third practical action step. To have a different experience of life, do something different. Listen, I know you want to change. I know you think about changing your habits around your health, around your finances, around your relationships. I know also that the neural pathways that you have hardwired through your brain through however many years of living you have done, and the choices you have made, and the reinforcements you have gotten from the world, and the trauma that has informed your hardwiring, I know that that is strong hardwiring, and it can feel like it's impossible to change. Guess what? It's not. But it's really easy to say, change your thinking, change your life. But how do you actually do that? Well, one of the easiest and best ways to change your hardwiring is to go backwards. Instead of going stimulus response, do something different first. and train your brain in a new and higher way of seeing things. So, for example, if you want to change your relationship with your body, it is so easy to hop on the internet and find thousands of wonderful free yoga classes for every level. Alex has done yoga. You too can do yoga. If I can do yoga, you can do yoga. It is free. It takes your time. It takes your attention. It takes your love. It takes your love. So if you want to have a different experience of life, you do something different, and that begins to train your brain that you're open to something different, and then your brain starts to see things in a different way. You see, it's backwards, and it works. Doing before thinking. If you're ready for a change in your finances, guess what? Reverend Shannon has an incredible class starting this week, Spiritual Economics. I took this class 3 times. 3 times. I'm a very smart woman and a very slow learner, and that is okay. Because I had the courage to apply the principles that I was learning from Reverend Shannon and other teachers in my life, and it changed everything. Everything. I can't even explain to you how far it changed everything. If you want to have a different experience in your finances, do something different. Whether you want to take the class because you want to heal something in you, a pattern that doesn't work for you in your finances anymore, or whether you just want to up-level where you're at now, I cannot recommend this class enough. Again, smart woman, slow learner. I would take it again if I might. Okay, last one. Last practical application step. Last one. And this one's my favorite. I would skip it, but I can't because it's my favorite. Just tell yourself a new story. Our perspective is shaped by the stories that we tell ourselves. And when you step back and you look at the story that you're telling, it's really important to pinpoint the perspective that you're telling it from. Are you the victim, the hero, the perpetrator, the student, the healer, the grower? Where are you telling your story from? How are you casting yourself in the story of your life, in this situation? And when you lift your consciousness, you see, you reclaim the pen, and you can rewrite your own story. But remember, spiritual growth, spiritual awakening doesn't deny the pain. The pain is still there, but it doesn't let the pain define the story. So here's your action step. I invite you to reflect on a current challenge, and you can write 2 versions of the story. Write one from a place of fear. What is the very worst thing that could happen here? I'm really imaginative, so I'm really good at that. But then write the story again. Write the story from a place of love and possibility. And cast yourself not as the victim, but as you choose. The healer, the grower, the learner, the student. As Dr. Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, because this change in perspective draws to you a different experience of life. So when we raise our consciousness, we become more than just people reacting to life. We become channels for the divine life to flow. We bring more love into the world. We offer more grace. We embody more peace. And this is not a one-time event. You don't show up to spiritual community on Sunday and think, spiritual awakening done for the week. I'm headed to the Lucky Lab. Like, that's not how it works. It's a daily practice, moment by moment. We choose again, time and time again. And every single day offers us opportunity to lift our thoughts, to open our hearts, to align our will with the divine pattern that is unfolding in us and through us. We come back to truth time and time again. Okay, so your practices, for those of you taking notes, meditate and pray to anchor in truth. A few minutes a day. And if you already do it, a few more minutes a day wouldn't hurt. Number 2, observe your thoughts without judgment. Just skip the blame and shame part and move right to the love. Number 3, to have a different experience of life, do something different. And number 4, rewrite the story of your life with faith and with purpose. You are not here by accident. You're not small, and you're not broken, and you're not lost. Just like me, just like Alex, just like the lady in Wales who's getting ready for her Texas trip, you are an emanation of divine mind. You are here to shine, to learn, to love. And the work of lifting your consciousness is sacred, and it is urgent for this world. Your life, your healing is urgent. We need you. And so I invite you into this perspective shifting change. Let's be those who climb the mountain not to escape the world, but to return to the world with a wider view and a deeper love. Don't you think? Yeah. All right. Let's take all of that into prayer. I'd like to invite the practitioners to come forward. I keep hearing, just bring me a higher love. Over and over again in the back of my head, this whole time, just bring me a higher love. And so in this moment, I invite each of us to open ourselves just a little bit more to be ready, to be receptacles, to receive that higher love that even now is beaming into us. What I know is that there is a higher love. There is a divine presence that is everywhere present, that it is here. It is now. It is eternal, and it is beyond all concepts of space and time. What I know is that this higher love is even now knocking on the doors of our consciousness saying, beloved, 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 the time is now. We are the people, and it's all going to be okay. This love that has been with us even in the times when we have not recognized it. This love that stands with us today, drawing our good to us. This love that goes forward to make the crooked places straight. All of it is God. All of it is love. All of it is source. All of it is divine presence coming to know itself as love in our lives and for this planet. And so for every one of us who has a hurting place in our hearts, in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls, in our families, and our concerns about the world and each other, what I know is that that higher love is here too. And that as we open ourselves just a little bit more to receiving that love, we become expressions of that love, making the world a better place for ourselves and for each other. And so for all of the hurting places today, for all of the hurting people all across the world, we pour a blessing of this higher love. For all of the decision makers, higher love making the decisions. For all of the hurting places, love and love and love again. And I invite each of us to become willing agents of this love. I celebrate every path up that mountain. I celebrate every place that is learning love, leaning into love, exploring divine love this day. And I know that together we are an awesome force for good. And in this vibration of loving kindness, we simply let it be, accepting the good and being the good. We let it be. And so it is. And so it is. Blessed be. Blessed be. Thanks, y'all. Thanks. I did a lot of singing in the car, and I don't have much of a throat right now. I want just thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you online. Thank you. Thank you online for your presence here today. NTCSL Colorado, thank you for your presence here today. I'm going to invite the ushers and greeters forward. NTCSL Colorado, I know your greeters are coming forward. This is our time for conscious giving. Y'all, we literally wouldn't be here without your gifts. The sole reason that we are here is because you contribute and become part of that good, that rising tide that lifts all boats. So thank you for your gift. Everything that you give, a portion of it goes to organizations that put feet to our values. Portland Refugee Support, Feeding the Hungry, Backpacks, all the things. Know that we are very mindful about how we use your funds, both to support this community and to support our values in the world. So thank you. There are many ways you can give online. Y'all check out newthoughtcsl.org. At the top, there's a donate button. Please join us in contributing to this community that I know you get so much out of too. So whatever is yours to give, thank you. And let's speak a word of blessing on it, shall we? I like to hold mine on my heart. Together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. All right, thanks. Hey, help me welcome back Darcy Bradley and the New Thought Messengers.
Well, I am unwritten, can't read my mind. Well, I'm undefined. Well, I'm just beginning, pens in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. Well, I break traditions. Sometimes my tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Oh, standing at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Well, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Get yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Hey, the rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten.
I love our musicians, don't you? You! And thank you, Shelley Walker, for that absolutely amazing talk. Thanks again. And now it's almost time for our annual summer used book sale. And the inventory for this sale comes from the used books you donate. Now's the time to go through your bookshelves and release those that no longer serve you. Bring your gently used book donation to the bookstore for the next 2 Sundays. We're accepting all categories: New Thought authors, other nonfiction, and fiction. And now, help me welcome the treasurer of our Board of Trustees, John Doobie, who would like to share a little bit something about our upcoming class, Spiritual Economics, and his personal experience with Rev Shannon as a teacher. John?
Good morning. I think it's still morning. Like Shelley, I've completed the Spiritual Economics class 3 times. Just signed up for a 4th. Not because I'm a slow learner. I'm a stellar student, actually. It's because every time I completed the class, my life got better. And this is what I learned. In a spiritual economy, love leads, finances follow. Wealth abounds and is generously circulated. Health is always healing towards balance. Relationships are ever more enriched. And creativity flourishes with the fruits that feed our souls. Now, there's always in the world another economy that is fear-based, where fear leads, financed by a few who hoard wealth. And instead of generosity, they are mean. There's not enough. And so growth is stifled. Relationships become conflicts. Health is disease epidemic. And creativity is stifled, and it leaves our souls wanting for health, for beauty, and joy. That's why I signed up again. This is a time to anchor myself in the principles and practices that have me unite with the whole, with all that is, and demonstrate that spiritual economy. And I invite you to join me, because together we can make a difference. We can be part of that critical mass that shifts the world. And if you can do it in person, all the better, because you might meet someone who becomes one of your lifelong best friends. That's it for me. And oh, by the way, Shannon's revised the material. It's going to be even more fun.
Beautiful. Thank you, John. What a testimony. This class begins Tuesday, August 5th, online only, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific. Join Rev Shannon in an exploration of the metaphysical principles which govern our financial wellness, higher truth. The class serves as a prerequisite if you're interested in becoming a practitioner for practitioner training. And if you miss a class, don't worry, it's recorded for you. There are payment plans available as well as need-based scholarships. To secure your spot, register online at newthoughtcsl.org or use the QR code.
Thank you so much, Helen. John, that was a heck of a testimonial, brother. I want to thank those of you who are here in person with us today, and I'd like to thank all of you who are joining us online. I know that we have people watching in California, Oregon, Mexico, Colorado. Again, happy Community Day to those of y'all in person there at NTCSL Colorado. I want to thank our online hosts for today, Carol Scott and practitioner Kelly Bastian. We love you. A reminder for those of you who are new or newish, we have a welcome table right outside these doors here. You'll meet Cindy Koski and Bonnie Duncan there. They can answer any questions that you might have about us and how you can get involved. I'd like to invite practitioners down who will be available for prayer after service. And the practitioners who supported service today, y'all go ahead and come on up. Helen, Terry, Bernally, thank you so much. Listen, these practitioners are going to be available for prayer after service. Online, you too will have practitioners available. In TCSL Colorado, I know you have practitioners available. If anything that was spoken here today calls you to a higher place, let these people pray with you and anchor it in. If you walked in the door today, or if you're sitting on your couch today with something weighing on your heart, let our practitioners know truth with you. We don't always have to hold it ourselves. We have professionals to hold it for us, and they do an amazing job. Avail yourself of prayer. It is one of our best tools. Following service, the sanctuary turns into a quiet space for prayer and meditation. You are all invited downstairs to join us in our bookstore. We have coffee and nosh down there, and each other. So join us downstairs. Please stand as you're able for our final blessing. Did I forget anything, Terry? That was everything? All right. Hey, y'all, may you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved.
I release and I let go.